The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and are not those of WKYU-TV, its management, or WKU.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting edition of TopperTalk. Exciting. We're back up in everybody's TVs.
A little basketball.
A little basketball action going on. The full crew is back. Woody, you are back in the house.
Soccer season's over for Russellville. So
oh, really?
Glad to be back, yeah.
Did y'all make it to the state championship?
Yeah, definitely. First year having the program, just beat everybody.
Sorry, man, I didn't know.
No, it's all good.
Okay, well,
glad to be back.
How was
You're bringing up sour feelings for Woody?
How was the Russellville soccer season?
Like I said, first year having a program for a couple of years, so we're building back.
Okay,
it was
rebuilding stage.
That's right.
Not a big deal, hey.
No.
And Shane, you're here, of course.
I'm here.
Welcome back.
Hey, I'm glad to be back.
My streak continues of missing no shows, so you can just call me the Iron Man.
Faithful host over here.
Back in action. So let's start off first. We got a lot of cool news, and big news dropping down about 3 hours ago with the Justin Johnson commitment for WKU basketball.
Big commit.
Which is really big for WKU because everybody, you know, if you kind of read into the recruiting stuff, I mean, obviously Justin Johnson was probably WKU's top target for the 2014 class, of course. Power forward, 6'7", 235 pounds out of Perry County Central. What does this mean for the WKU Hilltoppers?
Means that we could be in for a good class. I mean, we've already grabbed a couple kids. We got some other guys on our wish list, but, you know, getting Justin Johnson was a big get.
Definitely. I think, you know, when you look at recruiting, you have to look down the road a little bit. You know, Justin will be a freshman with George Fant as a senior, and then by the time Fant graduates, he's basically stepping in straight for him. I think that's just about an even replacement. He's the same type of player. Definitely, I'm excited to have him for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, Western Kentucky's kind of been on Johnson for a long time. I mean, we're kind of thinking Hilltopper Stereo is a Saturday, but last Hilltopper Stereo, Justin Johnson was here.
That's right.
You know, visiting. So it's been, you know, at least a year or more, you know, that they've been recruiting Johnson, and obviously it's paid off.
Pretty hard.
Yeah, and
they've been on him pretty hard and steady all.
Yeah, and Johnson's been here at least, you know, 10 times visiting, you know, in some form or capacity in another. And, you know, obviously it feels like family here with Coach Harper and the coach's staff. Right. David Boyden did a great job recruiting him. And, you know, like I said, a big commitment for them. And obviously it puts I think, kind of a weight off the WKU shoulders to get Johnson, which is considered their number one guy for the 2014 class. And
Definitely.
And like I said, it sizes up really well, too, because, you know, he'll be a freshman when George Fant's a senior. Get that replacement, just slide him in there.
You know, that's a year for him to learn under a very experienced George Fant as well. Yeah, you know, and that can only benefit him.
Everybody's expecting George Fant and T.J. Price to have those breakout years this year too. So I mean, you know, you get those.
I mean, haven't they already kind of had?
Well, everybody says breakout, man.
Breakout
careers.
I think when they say breakout years, I think each one's going to average 25 points a game. I think that's what they mean, right?
I mean, that'd be awesome. But, I mean, we'll see.
But yeah, I mean, you look at WKU's class so far as basketball. They have Johnson, of course, the big commitment today. They also had the Rob Marbury kid out of Franklin Road Academy, kind of a non-scholarship player, but still a very skilled player. You look at his highlight video. I mean, he can shoot the three, and
he could be one that could down the line could possibly earn a scholarship as well. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we looked at one the other day in practice when they had it open to the media. The Brandon Price kid out of John Harden. I mean, small, but man, he is good. I mean, he's a hustler, that's for sure. And
all you older Western fans, you know, you can remember a guy from Arkansas State, I'm sure, Chico Fletcher, 5 foot nothing, but you know, he could dunk the ball, which was pretty impressive considering he's shorter than any of us here are. Well, a lot of people are shorter than Woody.
Yeah, a lot of people are shorter than Woody. Yeah. Mr. 6'8" over there.
He was shorter than you and I. And, you know, I mean, when he would go up to dunk, it would be almost like a rocket ship taking off. I mean, like, he would still be going up when everybody else would be coming down.
So it's kind of like a Spud Webb type player, right?
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, you look at players like you know, the Brandon Price kid. You know, looked really good in practice. He
just hustles.
Yeah, and you could really honestly see him being a spark plug coming off the bench in some form of capacity. You know, walk-on player, could possibly earn a scholarship down the road. We saw it last year too with Percy Blade. You know, coming in, and of course the injury-riddled situations that we were in last year. But he came in and did a.
The fact that he started games for us last year. Tell everybody what you need to know about it.
He had to start games for us, unfortunately, which means that we had a lot of injury issues. But he did an adequate job for the most part. And, really had a couple of games there where he was really impressive, and played really well. So, you never really count out a walk-on kid that comes in here, especially one like Marbury. He's got good size and everything like that. And like you said, we've got a couple on the roster that look really good as well. So, but you kind of look at the recruiting class.
But, another thing, that's a good thing when you're bringing in kids to walk on that could probably receive scholarships to play at other programs.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows that, Western is up there where we, need to be and getting back to where we need to be.
Yeah, so, I mean, you kind of look at this recruiting class going forward. We got Johnson, who's kind of the big fish. But, where you guys think that Western Kentucky kind of looks at next to kind of fill a void in what positions? I'm thinking point guard.
I still think they'll go for a point guard. They have a couple targets out there, one of which is going to be on campus this weekend.
Oh, well, tell us all about it.
Well, you tell us, Sean.
No, you tell us, Shane. I know just as far as point guards are concerned, Avery Patterson, the kid out of Wheeler, Georgia, is going to be here. But I think the big one's going to be the Keith Pickney kid out of Miller Grove, Georgia. It's pretty big to actually get a visit out of him, an official visit, because, I really thought he was going to be one of those kids that was going to be kind of on the outside for us to kind of get him to come here on an official and kind of wow him a little bit. But I think he's probably going to be the number one point guard target. But you also have kids like Keenan Evans that's already been here. And, you also have another kind of wild card out there is Jalen Barford, the kid out of Southside, Jackson, Tennessee. Hasn't really cut his list down from 8, but I know WKU is like in his final 8, and he hasn't set any official visit dates either. But then you also have Hunter Ware, another kid out of Georgia, that's supposed to come up here on the 26th as well. So, you're going to see you're probably going to see some prospects come up here and some recruits during Hilltopper Hysteria. Like I said, we saw Justin Johnson here last year. I know he's supposed to be back down here for Hilltopper Hysteria this year. So, it's kind of like a big recruiting thing. You get these kind of Midnight Madness hysteria type ordeals, and they're really big to have recruits come down, kind of see the atmosphere, the vibe, and everything. Everybody's getting pumped up for basketball. So, big deal. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I remember it was a couple years ago when McDonald was still here coaching, and he pulled in the big class. We had George and TJ and Derek Gordon and Vinny Zolo and all those guys.
Dean Leak? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, him too. Good name drop. But, I just remember all those guys being here for Hysteria and going out and talking to them and, them working on each other, trying to get everybody to come in together. And these kind of events are definitely big for recruiting. I'm anxious to see, especially with Justin having committed today and knowing the guys are going to be here this weekend, sort of maybe throwing the full court press on a couple of them and trying to get some more commitments coming up soon.
It's kind of what it's all about.
Jordan, or Justin Johnson, he can help out with recruiting now too, similar to how this class that's soon to be juniors started kind of recruiting each other.
Yeah.
That can only help things as well.
For sure.
Especially when you have early commits, to kind of say, hey, come here, play with me, we can do big things.
So obviously, was it not a big surprise that Johnson committed to Western for you guys?
I kind of, we've been kind of number one on his list for quite a while, and I figured it would happen, but kind of like Woody and I were talking for the show, I think, I kind of figured it would happen a little later after he kind of made all of his official visits and kind of toured a few campuses, but, now is good.
Yeah, now it's great. It's just like you said, he's committed now so he can start recruiting other players. And, all these kids kind of play against each other on the AAU circuit and everything like that. And that's another thing about Justin Johnson, that he kind of shined this summer in his AAU team with the Kentucky Travelers. They went down to the Peach Jam, and everybody thought, hey, this team from Kentucky, they're not going to do any good in the Peach Jam. And they ended up, beating Stanley Johnson's AAU team, which Stanley Johnson's the top 5 recruit. And then I think they played a couple of other really great teams with some really great prospects, really close, and they ended up losing those. But, they had a really good showing down there.
And that's one thing about getting Johnson and Marbury both. They both play on that team, and that's going to open the door to some other talented players that are on that team, the next couple of years. I know Cameron Justice, that's a junior right now. He's a big recruit in next year's class, and, hopefully this will, work a few connections.
Yeah,
and I know we're looking at him pretty hard. So.
Well, and you kind of touched on, after, our coaches going and seeing the Travelers play so much, they pretty much offered everybody on the roster.
Exactly.
They played so well in the Peach Jam and the other tournaments they played in that, and we had a coach at all of those games. I think they just kind of said, hey, all these kids are pretty good, so let's just offer the whole team, try to build something here.
It's good, too. You get in-state kids like Johnson, too. You kind of get that, regional type feel. And then it's like you said, they all play on the same AAU teams, or they all play against each other, so they all pretty much know of each other on the AAU circuit.
Right.
So you get that early commitment from a player like Justin Johnson and Rob Marbury, and they start talking to the players that they know and they're friends with, and it's good for WKU.
It is.
Recruiting is all about reaching out, man, making
That's
connections.
Right.
So obviously,
I think you look at some of the better teams we've had over the years. They all have had good Kentucky talent on the team, so I'm excited to see that. You want to see guys that grow up knowing about Western.
Well, you always want to get the top players in your own state.
Yeah,
I mean, that should be your number one priority with every recruiting class.
So we all know Coach Cal doesn't do that. So I mean,
exactly.
All right, moving on. We're talking about Hilltopper Hysteria. It is Saturday night. Are you guys pumped up about this?
I'm pumped.
I've been counting down for like 6 months. I love football and everything. But
got your little calendar marking down the days?
I have, pretty much. But, basketball is what I live for at Western. I'm definitely excited for sure.
So, I mean, we got Hilltopper Hysteria. What are you guys looking for as far as, everything that kind of goes on with Hilltopper Hysteria, as far as the events and everything like that?
Well, I mean, I know you and I have kind of already checked out the practice and watched the guys, play a little bit, but I always enjoy watching the scrimmages. I mean, the dunk contest, three-point contest, all that's in good fun. But, I don't know. I like watching the game atmosphere a little more. I like watching them get up and down the court and see how they work together as a team and stuff like that.
Woody?
Definitely, yeah, same thing. I mean, the events and stuff, they are what they are. I mean, they're sometimes good entertainment, sometimes not, depending on who.
Sometimes there's dunk contests that aren't as much dunking.
Yeah, last year's dunk contest was just,
Let's talk about last year's. Now, I agree with you guys. I mean, I'm excited about it. And it really is a great event. But, you kind of saw last year the dunk contest wasn't so great. We didn't have a lot of great dunkers on the team. So, I mean, do you think the dunk contest is going to be any better this year?
Hey, we have more athletes on the team this year. I mean, you look at, Nigel Snipes coming back from injury. He can get up there. Tracy Jackson, he's an athlete. Aaron Adoya, Dowda Samaro. I mean, we got some guys that can get above the rim.
Okay.
George.
I'm excited to see Trency. He's put some videos out on Instagram and stuff with his dunks. He's a pretty creative dude.
Trency's doing a good job of marketing his dunks, because he's putting those Instagram videos out and where he's doing some, alley-oop dunks behind some stuff. So, I mean, looking good out there. I mean, he's doing a good job of marketing himself.
He's got a little bit of Sergio Carucci in him, too, with the showmanship, I think.
The early favorite in the dunk contest.
That's right.
I think we can all agree.
I think I would agree with that.
What are some of the other things you kind of want to see to maybe differentiate from last year's? I mean, not to compare. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and trash Hilltopper Hysteria last year, but like I said, the dunk contest was a little low. I know you said you wanted to kind of see more of a scrimmage.
I just
more time for the scrimmage anyway.
Less of a running clock, the whole scrimmage. I mean, if you're going to play, just play two, 10-minute halves or something like that, and
and stop the time whenever there's a foul.
Well, no, not necessarily that.
Really? Why not? You don't want to see free throws? It's a very important part of the game.
It is important, but I don't think anybody has any interest in sitting there watching us shoot free throws all night.
Oh, I do.
Do you?
It's very important. How many times does the game come down to free throws making your
it does. I'm not arguing your point. I'm just saying the last thing I want to do is watch us shoot 50 free throws at Hilltopper Hysteria.
What about you, Woody?
Watching the guys get up and down the floor is always, my favorite thing. Last year, you get to see players that you hear about, but you may not know so much about. Last year, Alex Rostov was just a huge, out of nowhere kind of guy for Hysteria. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the newer guys. I've seen a few practices, like you said, but seeing that kind of game atmosphere. I mean, the girls scrimmage too. I mean, it's got its exciting moments.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they doing the cheerleader thing again? I know we talked about that a little bit earlier.
I don't know, but I hope the setup time's a lot less.
I don't want to trash the cheerleaders, but that took a lot of time.
I don't want to trash them either. I just
they're
didn't
good. They're top 10 in the country.
I didn't like the setup time for the routine. I think it needs to be planned out a little bit better, where it's the setup time's less and they come out there and cheer, and don't take up a lot of time. So no disrespect to the cheerleaders. We want them to be out there.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Just the setup time was a little too much last year. I think one of the cool things I would like to see, just for me, because I like stuff like this, is to see Coach Harper out here and compete in the three-point contest, because I think that would be just awesome. Him and Coach Boyden get out there and compete with some of the players and see who wins.
I remember, one of the very first years we had Hilltopper Hysteria, there was a scrimmage between Darren Horn and the coaching staff against some guys that won the intramural tournament. And one of the guys was from Russellville that played ball at Russellville. He ended up actually walking on to the team because he impressed the coaches. So I think something like that would be pretty cool.
See, because, it's Hilltopper Hysteria, stuff like that's supposed to be fun, and I really thought that, we talked about the dunk contest not being so great last year. I thought the three-point contest, but there wasn't a lot of three-point contests, three-point shooting going on. I thought that could be set up a lot better, kind of like an NBA style, But I also like like you were saying, Woody, Hilltopper Stereo from years ago, have the coaching staff compete against people that compete in intramurals, or, have Coach Harper and Coach Boyden get out there. And
or just bring a couple random fans out and have Harper and Boyden go against them in a...
Put a trampoline out there.
I'll go play against them, see what I got.
During the dunk contest, put a trampoline out there, and let's get the TopperTalk guys out there to do some dunks, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Just put the padding down below, because I'm sure it's going to be a train wreck.
Definitely.
Just don't hit the trampoline too hard and go face first into the backboard. They just,
I call that the windshield dunk, by the way. Just so you know. So, obviously Hilltopper Stereo, everybody's looking forward to that. Like I said, it's going to be a big event. I think people should go out to it and definitely check it out. I think another thing that I liked from last year's event, maybe compared to this year's, is there's no volleyball game before Hilltopper Stereo.
Actually, I liked having the volleyball game before.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I liked it last year that the volleyball game was before Hilltopper Stereo. I thought it, I think when you do something like that, it kind of makes people that are kind of on the fence about volleyball say, hey, I'm going to Hilltopper Stereo, might as well show up early and check out some volleyball action.
And then you see it, and, like Hudson has said a million times, go to one game, and I bet you'll go back.
Yeah, and
it's
a great
fun.
way
It's entertaining.
That's a great way to reel people in that's kind of on the fence about going and watching volleyball, or just people that want to get there early and get a good seat for Hilltopper Stereo and still interested in checking out the volleyball team. So, unfortunately, that's not going to happen this year, and it's probably just a scheduling issue on that front. But I'd like to kind of see that be a thing that happens every year, to have the volleyball game.
Definitely.
And then have Hilltopper Stereo right after that. I think that would be a neat idea like it was last year. So just another idea I'm throwing out there, man.
That's what you do.
Hey, it's what I do. It's what we do. That's why it's called TopperTalk, man. We throw out ideas.
That's right.
So anyway, moving forward, let's talk about volleyball. How did the volleyball team do this?
I don't want to talk about it.
I heard they lost the conference game, which is, what's wrong with that?
It had to happen sooner or later, I guess. I hate to say that, but yeah, they lost at Louisiana Lafayette yesterday in 5 sets. So
Were they sleepwalking, Woody?
I saw them play. Who did I see them play against? Texas State a couple weeks ago, and I know they're in such a situation because they're such a dominant team in the conference. It's got to be hard to get over those games.
Is it just boring for them to play Sunbelt teams?
I honestly think it kind of might be. You hate to say that because you should come out, intense every game. But I think
But when you won as many straight sets as they had.
They'd only lost 2 sets in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough. And I think, they probably thought they could just show up and win, and they kind of got snuck up on. But, if you're looking for motivation going forward, if you're Coach Hudson, that may be something that may end up being a good thing.
Yeah, I think that might be just one. He'll just keep playing on the real,
for sure.
motivation. Because, like I said, it may be one of those things where they just come out like, hey, look, hey, look, we're expected to win. We're kind of sleepwalking. Hey, just another Sunbelt Conference team. Not a big deal.
It'd be one thing, too, if Lafayette was one of the higher-ranked teams in the Sunbelt, but they're 6th in the conference right now. So it's not like it's not a team that should be competing with us very closely. So,
and you got to think, too, WKU is always going to have a target on their back, being the best team in the conference and everything like that. So they're always going to get their best from their opponent. So go ahead, Shane.
Soccer also was in action. They took on South Alabama.
Yeah.
Won 1-0.
There you go with the soccer nil.
It's 1-0.
You have to say
nil. You have to say nil.
Woody, being a soccer coach and a soccer fan, you have to say nil instead of 0 in soccer.
If you want to sound like you know what you're doing, you gotta go 1-0.
If I said 1-0 in soccer,
then
is that blasphemy?
Yeah, we wouldn't know what you were talking about.
You would disown me.
What's 0 in soccer?
0 means you didn't score any goals.
That's nil.
Well, if you want to use the word nil, you could go ahead and apply that to the whole conference season so far. We've had 5 games in conference and have yet to give up a goal. So that's
there you go. That's called
awesome.
Sunbelt domination.
That's right.
There.
We were predicted, preseason favorites in the conference, and 5 out of
obviously
9
that's going according to plan right now.
So far, definitely. We've got 4 more games left at the 2 Arkansas teams this weekend, and then we host Georgia State, and then actually that's the last one because Evansville's the last game.
Oh, Purple Aces.
3 conference games left. So
are we going to Purple Aces?
We go to the Purple Aces.
Oh man,
yes.
That's always Evansville. Playing Evansville and anything at Evansville is ridiculous.
Last time we played them in basketball there in the
in Roberts Stadium. Not Roberts Stadium, Roberts Stadium.
I was really pumped up about that game. Went there and we lost by 30 points.
I hated leaving. It was
to the Purple Aces of all teams. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, soccer's doing well. They should hopefully have a good chance at wrapping up a regular season conference championship this weekend. So
sounds good, man.
Now, is there a game this week in football?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Another bye week. All right, yeah. I think we got a easy. Hey,
wrap it up.
Gosh, you get too excited about that black
tomorrow night. Tuesday night. This is live, folks, by the way. If you didn't already know this, you just found out.
Shane is really excited about tomorrow's blackout game against Louisiana Lafayette.
We're unveiling the black jerseys.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
We are unveiling the black jerseys, the blackout tomorrow night against Louisiana Lafayette. Hopefully my laptop doesn't go crazy here with electronic issues.
It's just game over.
Yeah.
We're done.
I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Let's talk.
I'm excited.
Talk football,
I'm pumped.
Okay, let's talk football. So anyway.
See, you threw me off with this starting basketball first, man.
I
like to be pumped at the
off.
beginning of the show and then wind it down a little bit.
I didn't know it was going to cause you to like throw your laptop and on the table and
I'm sorry.
just toss water everywhere, man.
I'll try to calm it down, all right?
Calm down, all right? Calm down. But yeah, we got the big game tomorrow night, the blackout game against Louisiana Lafayette on ESPN2, nationally televised game. So huge for us as far as a national standpoint. And being on TV, being pretty much the prime time, the only game on TV Tuesday night, one of those obscure Tuesday night games, so that we all know and love on ESPN2. So really looking forward to it. And it's going to be a big Sun Belt matchup because Louisiana Lafayette comes in, they've won 3 in a row. They're 1-0 in the Sun Belt, and of course we've won 3 in a row as well. So it's going to be kind of a nice collision there for us tomorrow night at the house. So under the lights, what do you guys think will happen?
I think we're at the point in our progress with Coach Trino now where we're, things are starting to click pretty well. We're starting to see the defense show up and play well, starting to see the offense hit their stride, and things are going pretty well. I'm anxious to see, if we can take that next step tomorrow. Lafayette's going to be a good, contest for us. Sorry, but I think we're going to do well. I'm excited to see how we do for sure.
I'm trying to do a show here. Shane knocks over the water.
I'm surprised it took us
and then we get handed towels, and he gives me the towels.
I agree with Woody. I'm surprised it took like 9 months for something like that to happen.
It is what it is.
It was bound to happen, but why are you expecting me to clean up your mess?
I can't reach over there, man.
Oh, you just do it after the show, man. Let's talk football, all right?
I'm excited for the game, though. I've never been to a Tuesday night football game. So
yeah, I think it'd definitely be hype, and I think a lot of the students should come out to the game. I mean, it's Tuesday night. Come on,
yeah, you know how the Western crowd is. It's a weeknight game. You got a 40% chance of rain. I'm worried the attendance will suffer this week.
The rain will scare people away.
And when you have it on ESPN2, which almost everybody will have at home, you know how Western fans are. They're not gonna go out in the rain and when they can sit at home and watch it on TV.
Prove us wrong, Western fans.
Yeah, prove us wrong. I mean, why would you not want to go watch a game that's on ESPN2? I know you want to watch it on TV.
Why would you not want to go see the black jerseys unveiled? I mean, look, you saw how excited I was about it. How can you not be this pumped?
Just don't tip over water and mess my laptop up, all right, people? But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a really good game. I mean, really, I mean, you can honestly say it's probably going to be a battle for, maybe the Sun Belt, regular season champions. You got Lafayette that's kind of on a roll after they played Arkansas and Kansas State, kind of some payday losses for them, but since then they've kind of been on the roll. They tore up Nicholls State and they beat Akron on the road.
Which really looks Texas State.
Which really looks like a quality win when you beat Akron, because Akron almost went into Michigan and beat Michigan. Right. So, and then they just got done beating Texas State, a newcomer to the Sun Belt. So, they score a lot of points. They average about 38.8 points a game, and of course you got to watch out for Terrence Broadway as well. I mean, you got
another dual threat quarterback to give the Western defense,
and probably the best dual threat quarterback we've faced so far. You got we didn't face Colton Browning against Louisiana Monroe, and really, when you look at it from a Sun Belt perspective, you can honestly say with the quarterback situation, you could probably say Colton Browning's number 1, and Terrence Broadway would be in 1A. In that regard, I mean, he can really pass the ball. He can really run it too whenever he needs to. Doesn't really run it a whole lot, but whenever he takes off, I mean, if there's a gap there and there's coverage everywhere and there's a gap there, he'll take off and run. So I mean, that's been a problem for Western so far. You've seen a kind of a caliber player like Terrence Broadway and Brandon Bridge for South Florida kind of tear us up there in the second half of that game, and Western's defense didn't handle it very well. So.
I think the biggest way to counter him Broadway is forcing him to go the way you want him to go when he rolls out of the pocket, because if you flush him the way that's opposite from his rollout out of the pocket, then he tends to get a little flustered and throws long balls a little over the head of his receivers, which those with our secondary should be picks. So I'm hoping that. If they can hold on to him. But, I'm hoping that, our defense can put some pressure on him and force him, to go the way he doesn't want to go, and hopefully, create some chances for our secondary to come up with some game-changing plays.
Yeah. I think you kind of see in the secondary and at least the defense, they're kind of coming together at the right time. It's kind of like we said last week on the show. They're peaking at the right time. Yeah. So it'd be kind of interesting to see, the defense was just peaking at the right time, kind of take on this offense of Louisiana Lafayette. Like I said, you're taking probably the best dual threat quarterback in the conference right now, with Colton Browning being out for injury. So you've got that cog that's kind of been your bugaboo so far this year as far as defense is concerned. So it'll be interesting to see. I know the defense is peaked, but they've kind of taken on quarterbacks that aren't necessarily dual threat. I mean, you could probably put Navy's quarterback in that category, but like we kind of said last week on the show, they kind of run an offense where you kind of know what they're going to do. It's not like they're going to drop back and pass, and if nothing's there, they're going to take off and run. They run the triple option offense, so you kind of know what they're going to do.
Well, I got some stats pulled up that,
You got stats?
I do.
All right, let's hear it.
So these are national offensive or national rankings.
I'll clean up your mess while you can say.
Yeah, go ahead. So national rankings. Western is actually 29th in total offense as opposed to 35th for the Cajuns. So, a lot of people talk about Louisiana's high-powered offense, but Western is actually ranked higher in total offense than what Louisiana is in the national rankings. Total defense, Western is 30th, and Louisiana Lafayette is actually 55th. So, that tells the tale there. Rushing offense, the Cajuns surprisingly have a better total rushing offense than what Western does, being 24th to Western being 27th. They both have pretty similar rushing defenses, 74th and 73rd. But the passing offense, which the Cajuns live by, they live by throwing the ball. Mm-hmm. Western is actually 46th, and the Cajuns are down this year. It's only the 63rd best passing offense.
Bring up a good point there, Shane, because I have some stats as well.
Oh, dang.
Oh, man.
So let's talk about you talk about the passing. But their pass defense, let's talk about their pass defense. They've given up
I had that coming next, but you didn't let me.
They've given up a couple of 300-yard passing games against Kansas State and I believe, too, Akron, the Zips. So is this going to be a game where I know, the big thing for us is getting Antonio Andrews established, but could this be another big game for Brandon Dowdy in the passing offense?
It could. I don't know. Petrino keeps wanting to throw that long ball, but, he could very well do like he's been doing the last few games and a lot of, small 8, 9, 10-yard completions and just, methodically drive down the field and, force Lafayette to come up in the box, and then we can pound it with the run and then open up the play action for deep balls.
But it's like we said it last week on the show, you kind of saw the offense opening up a little bit as far as the passing game because they averaged 10.3 yards per pass attempt against Monroe, which is the highest this year. Usually you look in the stat book, it was about 6.3 or something like that, little dink and dunk passes per attempt, but they opened it up a lot. You saw some completions down the field with the Willie McNeil, Tywan Taylor, and players like that. You could very well make a case that could happen again.
Yeah.
Lafayette's kind of got a cog, and they're giving up 219 passing yards per game.
The 51st. Ranked 51st in pass defense in the country.
They give up 167 rushing yards a game too. So could be a game where if you don't get Andrews established first, you got Brandon Dowdy and the passing game in there to really kind of give them fits.
Well, and I think Western's defensive strength plays to Louisiana Lafayette's offensive strength, which is everybody talks about their passing, but we have the number 17 pass defense in the country as well. We have a lot of experience back there in the back seven.
But, we played Navy, though, too. So.
Well, we did play Navy. That's true. But
a little skewed there, man.
It is a little skewed. And we played Morgan State.
Yeah.
But the stats are stats. They don't lie.
Well, anyway, time is running out. So go out, blackout tomorrow night. Be there. And TopperTalk will be back the same time next week, Monday. See ya. Go Tops.
Go Tops.
This old house is a-getting shaky. This old house is a-getting old. This old house lets in the rain. This old house lets in the cold. Oh, my knees, I'm getting chilly, but I feel no fear of pain. Ain't got time to fix the shingles. Ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time to oil the hinges, not to mend no window pane. This old house is a-getting feeble. This old house is a-needing paint.
Hey, Hilltopper Nation. Tune in each week for Coach's Corner with WKU head football coach Bobby Petrino. You'll get an in-depth look at the 2013 Hilltopper team, meet other coaches and players, and see the highlights from every game. That's right, here on Coach's Corner with Bobby Petrino.
Going to help a homeowner replace a rotted windowsill.